destroyed. Hayward's gambit had paid off, and he had been there himself to see it through. They had tried to plan for the least cost in lives, but Pickett knew Helmer would have chosen this ending for himself every time.
When we were down in Cornwall, we went to the main beach, didn't we? And parking, reasonable prices.
But we don't have to deal with the nudie culture either in British beaches because it's too cold, and surfing scene is so cool down there that they all...
Modesty abounds.
They're actually dressed probably more than they usually are.
We...
Love an English holiday.
Yeah, we did. We took the plunge and got a 9-seater, which is where a car becomes a minibus. 8 to 9.
I was unsure to start with, but I've sold on it very quickly.
Oh, the Space Marine. Ugly on the outside.
It certainly is around here, but down in Cornwall we fit in quite nicely.
We do, don't we? Everyone's got one. And we get to sit next to each other.
Yeah.
With the 3 seats in the front. A treat I did not see coming. Right? I will be so sad when there's no more 3 or 4-year-olds left in the house, Maria.
To give us all the ideas of how we should do things. And...
Yeah, they are just the greatest value for chit-chat and making the fun happen. And they love life. They are just...
happy.
Yeah, pigs in muck when it comes to stuff like this.
The English heritage has been a good little treat
great
this summer.
find, yeah. Membership is really reasonable for an annual.
Yeah, if you're going to kind of make a go of it.
Where are we here? We're at Tintagel Castle.
Yeah, with links to King Arthur's legend, an unfortunate aspect of his legend, but we kind of brushed over that and had a great time.
Which was what?
When his father conceived him by somebody who
it's
tricked.
It's not a family-friendly
the castle.
story, is it? I don't walk around thinking I'm a dad of 6 with some complex. You just don't really notice. You've got them all there, and...
But sometimes I think they're so kind of small. Is that many? It works in that way, doesn't it?
It works out.
Do you know what? It's lovely that Amelia is here because Amelia has got a beautiful dress on, and I imagine you've made it, Mummy.
I have, yes.
Do you make all their clothes?
The majority.
Oh, good.
The majority, but there are times when I find myself very, very short of time, and in which case I go online and I order and it gets delivered.
And what?
But really, when it comes to daytime wear, yes. The majority of what they wear is what I've made. Or skirts and T-shirts, which I don't always make their T-shirts, but...
Okay, yeah, you can get a nice plenty.
Yeah.
You can and then nice do you have... What are the rules around the girls' dresses? Do they play ball? Do they obey Mummy and your lovely demands? They're good.
They love wearing
dresses. Have they got some good cousin role models that like wearing dresses as well?
They have. In fact, the one that Scarlett has got on today, she says, Mummy, that looks like Lucy's, with absolute delight and glee on her face. Yes. I don't have any problems, but the way they dress isn't an issue. They want to wear skirts, they want to wear dresses, and I love that is how they want to dress. But it's how they've...
Did you always want to wear a dress?
It's not something I even really thought about. I didn't really consider, I just wore whatever, but as I've grown and in terms of modesty, yes, I've gone back to wearing dresses. I didn't used to, but I've never been afraid of, I've never not wanted to wear them. But it definitely is something I've just gone back to but love wearing. And then it also in my girls as they're growing up, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful way to dress, and they don't even think twice about it. You're going to the stream.
Oh, cool.
That sounds like a fantastic idea.
So, Monica, you are... Oh, welcome to 109. This is Monica. Monica is married to Ashely, and they have 3 beautiful girls who very much suit the picturesque, rural countryside of Cornwall. Floral and pretty, and you've even got a little flora.
We have got a flora, yes, Latin for flower.
So Monica, Ashely, and the girls live in Cornwall.
She's Flora Marie, by the way.
Is she?
Yes,
Oh. Flower of Our Lady,
Yeah.
we'll call her. And you are one of the baker's dozen.
I am number 7.
Number 7.
I'm number 7, yeah.
Ah. And what are your general memories of growing up? And don't feel like you have to be obedient and say it was all great and things. What was your overarching, when people ask you, how was growing up in the big family? I know it's hard to compare, but now, from what you've seen around.
It's always felt to me like a team. So a family, we are all family, but some of my older siblings had moved on or grown up before I was really aware of them. So we've never exactly lived all together at home. I got on and still get on well with the majority. In fact, all of them. There's no one in our family that we don't get on. But growing up, it's hard to say. Like, I don't have any memories that are bad. Like, my mum and dad, we grew up on a farm, like in Cornwall, and they did everything for us to bring us up in faith and family, and then take us into this beautiful surrounding. So really, you know, we've been very blessed. We've just been so blessed. I don't really have anything that I could think of that is something I remember that is something I'd rather forget. Like, it's just...
That is impressive.
You know,
that is impressive.
there's
12 children, and ultimately, you know, maybe you didn't live together
always
at
good
the
and
same
bad
time.
times, but, you know, we get to this point in our lives, and actually I just feel so grateful for all of those, you know. We like, rub the edges off each other, you know.
In conversation with you and the other members of the family, it's just... You become so, well, you are so family orientated. There's so much going on in your family, helping each other. But at the same time, there's like big open doors for welcoming other people in and having guests. And your mum and dad are really impressive.
They're quite phenomenal, aren't they?
Host. Yeah.
They're quite phenomenal. Well,
yeah.
We have had this discussion as they've moved on in their lives as to, like, you know, you've still got this big farmhouse, you know, what are you doing it for? You know, the family that you once had, we've all moved on, and obviously there's some still there. You've got John and Michelle and other families, but we all still gravitate back, and they still, obviously, they host and they have many people staying, you know, all the time. So actually it's not, because it's not all about us, is it? It's not all about us, but it's just become this centre. It's filled now with grandchildren and, you know, visiting people.
And do you still go and do some homeschooling over there?
Yes, we have our music lessons over there. Okay. Yeah, we do our music over there. I do that with Josephine, who's my younger sister.
So then you're now working quite closely with 2 of your sisters with the homeschooling.
Yes, I do.
How often would you meet up?
Well, I have music with Josephine. Other than that, we don't have a regimented time when we meet. Mm-hmm. We meet often, so we'll do.
And would that be at the farmhouse?
No, not always. Might be at Teresa's or anywhere really. It might be walking. It might be. I don't really know. Swimming. It used to be swimming until I had Flora, and then 3 in a pool together. It's a little tricky. No, we don't do a regimented every week we meet up, but we see a lot of each other. We do like it.
And cheer each other along ultimately.
We
in the
do, and we message
Massively
each other a lot, you know, and we never, having it in common, but just being able to talk amongst ourselves is sometimes can just be invaluable.
Yeah. But even at the farmhouse, I saw some gorgeous artwork, which I do every time I come. Now this is our 3rd trip, but every time there's some other lovely artwork, which is clearly a lovely thing that's been done by children. There'll be a lot of it. So, like, I imagine for the Month of the Sacred Heart, maybe you've done something. Do you get together and do things like that together?
Yeah, we do. And so that will also be on our music days, that while they're in their lessons, they'll do some crafting and creating together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you grew up in this family in Cornwall all of that time and on the farm. What was your schooling like?
Normal primary school. Last year I went to a Catholic primary school, and then I moved to Tremoe Convent School before it closed down. And then after that I went to a very small school that started up. My parents helped start up to help school the children there, a Catholic school. So a bit of everything, really.
And then, so what I'm wondering is how you're now very conscientiously practicing your faith.
Yes.
You know, how you have gone from going through schools in Cornwall to then... Thanks so much, Liz. That's beautiful. Don't pick any more than my lovely, all right? Thanks.
There's many flowers. You may pick all of them.
Oh.
Good luck.
And then you went to university and you studied fashion design?
Yeah, it was a fashion foundation, so it was a kind of a practical side to creating clothing. Yeah.
And then you're now the other side of it, married with children and practicing your faith. How you have maintained that throughout your faith?
Well, I didn't maintain my faith throughout, sadly. I fell away, and
what got you, do you think? Was it when you went to uni and it was...
I remember going to Youth 2000. I went to the Youth 2000 retreats and things, very much in the early days. And then I just fell away. I'd say not. My friends that I have, they don't have a faith at all. So I was just easily swayed, and I just stopped going to mass, which is probably the saddest thing to think about. And I met Ashely, and then once we were married, we were married in the Catholic Church. So as I started to kind of get towards a marriage, my faith just got stronger again. My faith got stronger again, and Ashely had, he didn't mind. He just went with me, and he said that my faith made me who I am. So he supported me in everything, and it's just got stronger and stronger.
Was there anyone that, so like your mum and dad are watching on, really faithful people, really hardworking, and maybe somewhat heartbroken.
Yeah, do you
it's
know
really
they never...
hard raising children.
Yeah,
and
see, they
wanting
never...
them to get to heaven and
yeah.
How did they?
I don't know, because I look at it from the way that they would have looked at me, and I don't know how I would react now to my own children doing the same thing. But like one thing, although I had like kind of Catholic education, the Catholic kind of the catechism and everything was so lacking in my faith. Like even through preparing for, say, First Communion, preparing for anything like that, it was just pretty much non-existent. So this real presence of Jesus, this devotion to Our Lady, and all of these things. Although I did have a devotion to Our Lady, I fell away so easily. And I think when Mum and Dad, it was, I guess, when they really started practicing in the traditional faith, we were just all really drawn to it. So they've kind of drawn us closer. And then I've started to kind of go through my catechism again, go through like the Baltimore Catechism and go through all the questions and be learning so much about my faith now that I never knew before. So I saw how easy it was to fall away. I hope that if I ground my children in that faith now, that they won't suffer what I suffered. Yeah. I say suffer, but you know, to make the choices that I make, you suffer now, don't you? If you look back on it. But it is like the faith now is the source of everything in our family, and I really hope that it grounds them.
Yeah.
In their upbringing.
And thank God you've married such a lovely and skilled and inspiring good man.
But he's yet to make that big step.
But how is it for him? Because that's maybe a lot for him to take on as well. How he's just like, okay, now this is another level up.
Do you know the story of the boiling frog?
Okay.
He doesn't know it's happening right now. No, he's incredibly supportive, and I guess wow.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
It is impressive.
We don't do anything half-heartedly. He's obviously always known it in my family, because he became part of my family. My family, my parents, you know, they're very Catholic. You know, their home is very Catholic. So he knew of the faith, and he was part of the faith very much so. And obviously after our wedding, our children, he was very open to our...
Hello, Pepper.
Oh, fine.
Ashely, impressive how he takes it on.
Yeah, I can't say anything about Ashely. He's just an incredible person. So I think the fact that he's dealt with me and all my kind of changes through our time we've known each other is phenomenal. But he has. I always think this. And my mum would say the same thing. In fact, I probably heard he said it. Like, he's far more Christian in his outlook and his moral, or not his moral, but in his way, in his giving, than I am. I should be. So, and I think Mum was just like, imagine the good that Ashely could do if he was Catholic, you know, offering these things up or doing these things. Souls he could save. Yeah.
You can be inspired by him. He does come across to be
but
very impressive.
He will. I've given it to St. Joseph. I've prayed, you know, all the prayers. Perhaps not all of them. We're clearly being asked for more.
This is a story for many Catholic mums around the country and wives and spouses. Like the spouse hasn't got the faith.
No.
And
we rediscover the faith.
Yeah.
You know. I think perhaps I'm so thankful that he's still there after rediscovering my faith, because I don't think it's an easy one to slip in with or to get used to.
Yeah.
But it's like it was natural for us. It was, you know, yeah.
That's a real gift.
It is. And I know, I mean, Scarlett will talk about it. She will say, but Mummy, Daddy's not Catholic, you know. And Mummy, what about Daddy's soul? You know, we're doing our catechism. You can't gloss over these when your children are astute enough to notice. So it is simply, we pray. And I said, you know, I said many times, pray, hope, don't worry. Words of Padre Pio. It's just, we pray and we hope. And we've given it all over. We've given it to Our Lady, we've given it to St. Joseph, and he will become Catholic. And it may not be where we can, if it was at the last moment before he passes, we know. We have complete assurance in our prayers and in God, you know.
Yeah.
God is good, so.
God is good.
We know.
So, if you don't mind talking about this, is there any areas that are tricky that Ashly's like, look, that is just one step too far?
Going to Mass on a Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. Does he go?
Well, the last 3 weeks he has, since we came back from our beautiful pilgrimage of sorts, or trip to Dundee. But, you know, he will actually stay at home with Flora. You know, Flora she's very noisy, and we can't really have her in Mass, especially with the sisters at Lanherne. She's noisy. So I spend so much time out of Mass. Sometimes it's just like, well, you know, it may be easier if she stays home with you. Although she's starting to come with us. I simply said to Ashely, you know, I'm going to take Flora today. But I think we'll be fine. She's old enough now. She should be coming with us. And if I need to go out, I'll go out. And he goes, I'll come with you. So, you know, graces will come from that. And I think so many people must be praying for him. So it will happen.
I am Lancelot of the Lake, from across the sea. And I have yet to find a king worthy of my sword.
That is a wild boast. You lack a knight's humility.
Not a boast, sir, but a curse. For I have never met my match in joust or duel.
Overside!
I will not. You must retreat, or prove your worth in the test of arms under the eyes of God.
Then may he give me the strength to unhorse you and send you with one blow back across the sea.
Then come across, sir. Yield, sir. I have the advantage.
I will not! Fight me! I'm your horse or on foot, but fight me! Your avoidance mocks me!
I sought only not to harm you. Your rage has unbalanced you. You, sir, would fight to the death against a knight who is not your enemy. For a stretch of road you could easily ride around.
So be it. To the death.
We've got this big Catholic family bus thing, and we are very much like a sore thumb sticking out where we're from in our little urban area. But down here it's kind of like we've slightly upped our trendiness on the bus.
So normal. Yeah.
Because the surfer scene.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's vans. Yeah, vans.
Yeah, van central.
Well, we moved, and in our road it was nothing but vans. Yeah, it was all vans. Ash has his van. Yeah.
And then, so you have moved. So you've gone from urban central Newquay to rural.
Yeah.
We are currently embedded in the practicalities of the town and how convenient everything is.
Yeah.
But we also really appreciate that maybe one day we would live in the countryside. What have you found? Why did you make the move, and how's it benefited your family?
So we found that we were driving to the beach. Well, we live in Newquay. You can walk to the beach quite happily. We were in the car, we were driving to the beach, which makes absolutely no sense, other than we were choosing to go further afield. I was like, if we're doing this, then we don't really need to live where we live now. Also, when we bought the house we bought, we were in a position where that's all we could kind of afford, and it had potential, so we could do something with it. So we just went with it. It was close to family, but we didn't have children then, and our children came along while we were in the house, and then I never assumed I'd homeschool, and then I started homeschooling, and it was like, we need a garden. We had a little garden. Actually, we were very blessed with what we had. I'm saying that what we had was actually beautiful, perfect. Yeah, perfect. But and so then I was in the middle of this street, of houses and people and parking issues, and I'm just, I was just like, they need more space. We had done up our house. We had managed to kind of push it as far as it would go, so we could, sell it and be able to buy somewhere else, which would be more rural. Whereas without having done that, we just couldn't make that step straight into the country. I'd grown up on a farm, so I was longing to be somewhere else. But the fact that we were driving and going away from town meant that we really didn't need to be there. And actually being here, we're only 15 minutes at the most from the nearest town. Doesn't feel like it. Like, it's so rural and so country. But yeah, and actually even the beach is just not that far away. It's and the fact is it's probably still as far as we were driving anyway. But yeah, the girls, we really would have been happy.
In nature.
Yeah, we really would have
just
just been happy having a field. We wanted to kind of grow more, be more sustainable, be able to, grow. We love growing our own food and all sorts anyway in the garden. It's all part of schooling. It's just became a way of life. But actually, we do need more space. So we moved. But somehow, because we never envisaged it happening quite like this. Actually what we've ended up with is a really beautiful home. It needs a lot of work underneath the cover.
Obviously the best way to buy, get more for your money.
Best way to buy, anyone who looks at this house was on the market for a very, very long time before we looked at it, and it's just because the quotes were too high. Did she hit? Oh, Flora. Is he okay?
So you've also kept on, or maybe in different amounts, varying amounts over the years, your business.
Yeah, so I had a wedding cake business when we moved to Newquay before children. I had worked that for many, many years. Then realised I wanted to get out of the wedding business very fast, and the wedding cake business. And then I had Scarlett, so I moved it to home. So I created dresses. Because of course that was my training. My training was very, very creative sewing. And that was, I worked at home. And then the children have kind of added, and then I've gone into schooling, and then I've tried to run my business, and then I've also worked in the bakery. And you just make things work. Yeah. You just make the family work, You've got a beautiful
business.
We don't ever seem to stop.
And then you've done those lovely, it was the first time I'd seen them actually on your website. In your shop, was those overcoat things for the beach, that's waterproof and cosy inside. And now I'm seeing them everywhere. But a few years ago I saw you.
Yeah, when I created those, I made them especially because Amelia got really cold. She's the second. She's number 2. she got so cold on the beach, and then I was like, well, she needs one of those coats, you know, like one of those coats that you could just put on up, and you couldn't find them for that young. So the dry robe. So Amelia.
Dry robe. That's it.
Yeah, I didn't want to say the name out loud.
Okay.
I got told off when I hashtagged myself as a dry robe. They went, that's not a dry robe. You can take that off.
What is it? What would you otherwise call it?
They said you could use changing robe. I was like, it doesn't have the same ring, does it? No. So I designed. So a lot of the stuff I make, I've designed. So it's not. I don't just make from patterns. I design them. So I kind of. I had like a basic block pattern, which would be a coat, and then I created it bigger and oversized, and I made Amelia's coat from that. Just a nice, lovely, waterproof outer layer, towel on the inner layer, and then I just made them to sell. But they take hours.
And then you then leveled up again by creating your own fabrics.
Yes, so I don't do things in half measures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're from the Buscombe family.
I'm not happy. Actually, I couldn't get the fabric I wanted. I just couldn't get the fabric I wanted. And the prints that you can get a lot, the fabric I'm using now and I've designed and had printed, you can get now. Not my prints, but you can get more of it now. It's more widely available. But at the time, I couldn't get the fabric.
The fabric, because
I couldn't get the fabric. I could barely get the fabric at all. Yeah. So I had to have it specially printed and done for me to be able to have the fabric I wanted. Flora, you're a brute. Oh, thank you so much. Would anybody like some more basil?
Oh, it smells so nice.
We're really lucky. Oh, yes. So that's it. It merely is. I love drawing and creating fabrics. Anyway, you know, but I couldn't get what I wanted, so I had to. So there you have, you know, a coat that I've designed and made, but you also have the fabric that I've designed and made, mainly because I couldn't get hold of it, actually. Yeah. And then you have a product to sell. But now the market is flooded with that kind of thing.
Okay.
And you can find very cheap options, and no one's going to want to pay the amount that you have to pay for a very specialised, handmade, hand-designed product. It's just what it is. But it's come at a good time because I have my hands full.
So have you stopped?
For a minute. I stopped while I was moving. While we were moving, I stopped. But I miss the sewing very much. I have just really got back into sewing the girls' dresses because they were growing out of the ones they had.
I can't imagine you could do anything in the daytime. Was it always evenings when the children are asleep?
Evening. Yeah. Otherwise, it becomes a real chore.
Yeah.
It becomes a chore to sew, and the children get angry because they're not getting my attention. So, yeah. The good thing is, when I was doing cakes, I couldn't just stop something. But with sewing, I can just do a bit here and there. If they're happy or Flora's napping or something, I could do a bit. But really, the evening time is the time when I can really sew. Yeah. Evening or Saturdays, maybe. I really like being able to absorb myself in them and nurturing them and bringing them up. I absolutely love it. And I think that it is merely because I then spend less time trying to analyse myself, like giving myself over. And it's clearly what God is asking us to do as parents of the children is to, you know, let go of yourself and give yourself over. And that has perhaps been the hardest thing. But as the children have added number 3, I've given, and that is perhaps the biggest joy for me. Which is a strange one, perhaps, but it's, I do. Sometimes I think, I'm so glad I have you, you know.
I can see that.
Does that make sense?
I even see that from when you've got one and I'm just obsessing on all the details.
I can't wait to get my life back.
And then
I can't wait to be able to just go for a swim, you know, on my own. I'm like, what am I thinking? What am I doing? No. And why am I even thinking that? Like, this is the treasure now. Like, it's different. So as it's gone on, that's stopped. I know that's for me. It's stopped. You know,
yeah, because there is that rhetoric around, isn't there? People say, I want to have my life back.
Yeah. So this is what I've heard people close to me saying, and I now cringe because I think, was I like that? Was I like that too? Like with Sky, and yeah, it's a let going. Just let going of the self
and embracing the new you,
embracing the children
and your new life.
Embracing, yeah, the schooling, the chaos, the lovely chaos. It's just it's very beautiful. There's a lot of joy in it. Yes, it's hard. Like. It has such hard moments, but we're given the grace to get through that. You just have to trust it. It's so easy to say, no, but Definitely. There's much joy in the children.
And the trickiest bits of mothering?
Mine has been the combination of mothering and schooling. It has been really hard.
Yeah.
I never saw myself as someone who'd be homeschooling and not sending my children to school because I've worked so much. I've always worked, business after business and trying to make what I would consider the most of my time. And when you take a step back and look, it's not necessarily the best use of your time. So
Yeah, you have a very strong work ethic in your family. You see that?
Yeah. Sometimes is that a good thing? I don't know.
Well, it is virtuous to work hard and do our
There's
best
a
in
balance,
life. And then I
definitely.
suppose like when you go past that virtue, it turns to vice.
Yeah.
But it's just knowing where that line is, and you just have to keep
definitely.
reassessing, don't you? Like you're moving house, or you're having children, or you've got a baby, and then it's just different at different times, and you have to keep changing. Keep changing what you can do.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, there is something about it now that I realise with my clothing and things that maybe it was more of a vice because I came very proud of all of it. And then I was thinking, I really want to use my art, my designs and things for the glory of God. Don't you step on Vincent, thank you. Come here.
But I think that is
so.
we
I
do want to give glory to God as well.
But I can.
Yeah,
when you consider the painting and the design work that you can do and put into quite a lot of things, even if it's just simply printing off stickers, I don't know, simple things, paintings, artwork, clothing which has beautiful patterns on it. It could be Marian patterns, or going into vestments for priests and things where you can mend stuff. Yeah. There's so much you can actually do with the gifts. It's just redirecting it.
Looking forward to seeing some of your what's coming next.
Yeah, there's quite a lot actually, but because I never sit still for a minute.
Exactly. I can see that all across the family, and it's just gorgeous and wonderful, and it is really inspiring.
What's next?
Yeah. Monica, thanks so much for talking to me and for sharing your gorgeous family with me. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for watching, and thank you for all of those who support our channel. Without you, we couldn't run the channel. So please, thank you, big thank you to you, and keep us in your prayers. Keep Monica and her family in your prayers as well, of course. God bless.